It's the live sit and talk with Matthew Batrep.
That's right, this is Matthew. My last name is not Batrep. And yes, this is live. Yes, we are live in the chat. Because people can refresh now. And this is another live sit and talk. Today is April 4th. I'm a little sleepy. I had a hard time sleeping last night. All sorts of crazy dreams. And just, I don't know why else. Just did. Maybe my kids woke up a couple times. That could always be contributing. But, so hello to everybody in the chat. I'm looking at the chat over there. I tried to get the pop-out chat to work because then I can like reposition it better. But hold on, I'll just do this instead. Hey, stupid new Twitch thing. I want the chat. Don't care about this thing. Just want the chat. Is it too much to ask? I'll put it right up here so when I'm looking at the chat, I'm almost looking at you. I really need to make a way to have a webcam like right in the middle of the screen so that when you're looking at the screen to read the chat, it looks like you're looking at the people. Because otherwise I have to look up here. Hi. Okay. Thank you, Doofy Dobie. He said the behind the scenes you made was really cool. Well, thank you. I want to do more of those. Obviously not like all the time because there's not... it's more of the same. It's like now he's editing another battle report, and now Dave's making another Life of a Wargamer. But I think it's one thing I remember when I got a backstage pass to Beasts of War. That's their membership site, and I still have it. If no other reason than just to support them. And the thing that actually got me into it is because they did the behind the scenes stuff. They don't do as much of that anymore. They used to do it a lot more when they first started. They do lots of other stuff in there, of course. But I really just wanted to see what it was like there. I wanted them to walk around because you always see like the studio, like the clean studio thing, right? But I wanted to see what their offices looked like. Maybe that's just because I also own a business, and so maybe that's not as interesting to everybody else. But it's a fun thing to do. But yes. Drekhiskier says, I think there should be a live feed of MiniWarGaming at all times. Hate to tell you this, but most of the time it's actually kind of quiet around here. You know, we play a battle report or two per day, sometimes more. A lot of times people are just at their desks, just editing away at their videos, and that's it. So that's it. Howling Wolf says it was fun to see that the vids being made during the behind the scenes were published fast after. Yes. Well, we've been ramping up our production. It sometimes takes viewers a few weeks to notice when we increase the amount of stuff. It doesn't seem to take very long to notice when we decrease, but when we increase it takes a little while. Like, for example, have you noticed the increase in battle reports? There's a question for you. And be honest. I want to know, actually. I'm curious. Have you noticed in the past week or two the increased number of battle reports that we've been putting out? There's a few second delay. Stormlord says, yes, I definitely have. Gloomed ready. Yes, I noticed, Matt. No Kath, yes. Oh, so yeah. Marshall says, what's the chance now that the store's closed that there could be more than one sit and talk per week? Probably won't do more than one sit and talk because this is just like a live Q&A. I might do other shows. We've been thinking about doing a live board game show, but we'll get to that later. A few more. Yeah, there's a difference for sure. Do you have a driver's license? Yes, I do. Yes, nice to see more Warhammer Fantasy. Yep. Yeah, see, I've said this before, my goal is 10 battle reports a week, 5 for free and 5 in the vault. Somebody made a comment about that once, and they said, for a big, for a production studio, that doesn't sound like very much. And to that I say, clearly you haven't made battle reports before. And I don't just mean like the ones where you show the end of every turn, because those are fast. Battle reports take quite a bit of manpower. Like it takes you 3 or 4 hours to play the game, and it takes a little longer to play because you're recording. And then you have 1 or 2 employees in there, depending on whether you have somebody coming in. And then it takes an hour or 2 to edit the battle report. And so really it takes like over a day's worth, pretty much 1 day's worth of manpower to make one battle report. And so if you consider that we have right now 4 battle report producers, myself, Dave, Owen, and Jay, but Dave and I are part-time because we have other stuff to do, and then Jay's part-time and Owen's full-time, so it's tough to get a lot of them done. So yeah, Scarshack says 24 to 30 hours equals 1 bat rep. Yeah, see, not for us. We do much faster than that. We sacrifice a little bit of like the super quality just to get more quantity out, because I know like Wargamer Girl, when she does hers, she spends a lot of time on her battle reports, but she adds all the overlays and more of the explanations, and so those are really cool to watch, but they take a long time. And when it comes to business, we have to find ways to lower costs, and that's the way to do it, is to just do the battle reports in such a way. So we have to find that balance. Like we could do battle reports really fast if all we did was like, here's the end of the turn, here's what happened, and then we play, and here's the end of the turn, because to edit that is like 2 minutes. But that's what we used to do for our battle reports, but they're not very exciting to watch. And so that's like the one end. It's like lower quality but very high quantity. And then you get like the super high quality, like Chung's, like the WG Consortiums and Wargamer Girl, but then they are very low quantity because there's so many of them. And then we're kind of like somewhere in the middle, where we decrease the quality so we can increase the quantity, but we don't want to go all the way over here because we want to make sure they're still good. So Blood Angel of Menoth agrees that Wargamer Girl's bat reps are nice. Drekeskier, there are scripts you can use for effects. That's true, but you still have to get them all in. The editing process, like you think about it, I like to get my battle reports done in between 1 to 1.5 hours editing. So any additional things where you're like keeping track of things and having even scripts can add a half an hour to another hour, if not a couple hours at a time. And so you're taking your 1.5 hours and you're doubling that time. That's a big difference. So Barbara Black Sheep is asking, do you plan on expanding into other games, Games Workshop or otherwise? Yes, we do. In fact, I've ordered a bunch of X-Wing miniatures from Black Knight Games, and so we will be covering Star Wars. It's a pre-painted game. It's kind of like in between a board game and a tabletop game. It's a tabletop game. Apparently very, very popular, and I'm very excited to play it. And then we're looking at other games like Infinity and Dreadball in particular are kind of the next on my hit list to try out. Dreadball because it should be a quicker one to do, and Infinity because it's so popular. Blood of Angel Menoth, like that the last banter was mistitled Asano Grey Knights. Yeah, we fixed that. It's Dark Angels. We make mistakes too. Did you know that we're not perfect? I was so shocked to find out that when I wasn't perfect, but yeah. Howling Wolf, nice that Jay is back, by the way. Yes, we're excited to have him back. So, Cherkiskier, Matt, you guys have achieved a nearly perfect balance of quality and quantity. I love it. Well, thank you. My goal, once we're doing regular like 10 battle reports a week, eventually I want the goal to be even higher than that, because as much as we're doing like 2 a day, if you're a Vault member, you're getting 2 battle reports a day, but sometimes you don't care about certain games. It's a War Machine battle report, and you're like, I don't want to watch that. I want to see the 40k ones. Or maybe you're not a 40k player, you're a War Machine player. So eventually we want to up even higher than that, so that the popular games can get covered a lot more, and then we have room for the less popular games as well. So, Marshall Aid, Matt, what happened to the last 15? What's the last 15? I don't know what that is. So, Howling Wolf, how are the new armies coming along? What armies do you have now? Which new armies are you referring to? Are you referring to us trying to buy some? Because we're just starting to get some. Okay. Buster Pro, did any of you have any experience doing editing before MiniWarGaming? Not really. No. Editing is actually not very hard to learn. I'll tell you that right now. Like when we hire somebody to do battle reports, they need to have computer skills. Like you need to be very comfortable with computers, because otherwise it'll take you forever to learn editing. But we care more about the personality and how they come across on camera than how well they can edit, because editing is a skill that can be learned. How you come across on camera is also a skill, but would take a lot longer to learn. So we want to do that. Oh, Marshall Aid, the last 15 pounds he wanted to lose. You made a show about it. Yes, okay, the last 15. I see what you're referring to there now. Still working on that. I've lost about 3 pounds so far. Just haven't made any updates to it. Doofy Dobie, hey Matt, I was watching vids on the MiniWarGaming site this morning, but it was going wonky and forgetting who I am, then refused to let me in it altogether. Yeah, we've been having some server issues. I'm not 100% sure what they are. I think they might be database related. In fact, if anybody on the show right now has had errors where you try to go on our site and you get a 500 internal server error, please type in the comments that yes, that's me, and only if you're still getting those errors. Actually, no. Tell me if you had those problems and whether they were fixed or not. Like right now, if you're still getting those errors. Randomizer says, yeah, I got those errors. But do they still happen? You get those errors? Yes. So you're getting 500 internal server errors. Waiting for a response. Didn't see one yet. I got one of those. It's like everybody's joining the club. I got a server error. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Okay. Well, randomizer, I want you to try. I want you to follow the instructions. Every time I click a video, it says error. But what kind of error does it say? Is it saying 500 internal server error, or is it saying this content doesn't exist? The reason I'm asking is because we think we fixed it. But what happens is on the client side, so on your side, sometimes your computer will cache the error. And so it could be fixed on our side, but on your computer, you're saying, give me that website. And the computer's like, oh, I already have that website, so here you go. But, oh, it's an error. That sucks. Yeah, see, the whole content doesn't exist error that we were getting, that's a separate error that happened at the same time. And that was a database connection error. So you went to the content page, and the content page was like, okay, I need this content from the database. And the database says, no, you can't have it. And then you get the error that says this content doesn't exist because it's like, oh, I can't see the content, so it must not exist. So yeah. Is that Tau in the background? No, that's Tyranids. I don't play Tau. Don't care about Tau. That's what it says. Okay. So then randomizer, I want you to follow the instructions at this link and at this link. And after you've followed all those instructions, at those two links, then tell me if you still have the problem. So we're going to move on from that, though. Because obviously I don't want to talk about server problems. I am actually kind of sleepy. It should be like, one of the shows should be nap time. Where it's just like, you get to take a nap, and we'll play some nice music. Make us chicken wings. Dark Matters. You want to talk about Dark Matters? I don't have any updates for it, so I'm not sure. So. Evening. No updates for Dark Potential. You know what? Okay, so since I'm already answering questions, let's do some
Q&A.
Okay, so at this point, you ask me whatever question you want about anything, even if it's not wargaming related, and I'll do my best to answer it. Okay. Actually, a couple of people are asking, TJS, Carrot, and Blood Angel Meneth are asking why we are using YouTube now more than Blip on our site. Hold on, I'm gonna scroll back up here. And I want to answer that. The reason is two reasons, or maybe a few reasons. One is that the Blip ad revenue, the reason we always had Blip instead of YouTube is because YouTube would make us a certain amount per view, and Blip would make us 3 to 4 times that amount. Actually, at one point, it was like 10 times the amount. And so we were trying to get people to off of YouTube and watching our site through the Blip player. The Blip player is not as nice. Like, the commercials usually are less targeted, and often you can't skip them like you can on YouTube, which is annoying. But it was kind of like, well, it gives us a good amount of money, so it's kind of worth it because we got to survive, and so we can make more videos. But Blip's revenue has tanked, while YouTube's revenue has gone up. And that makes sense, because I think Blip was overcharging their advertisers. And so the advertisers were paying all this money, and then they were paying on YouTube too, which was like peanuts compared to this. And this one was getting them results, and this one wasn't. So they're like, I'm not going to pay for that. And of course, the price was down. And so it makes sense. So that was the first reason, that the revenues have gone down. The second reason is that the Blip player is not as nice, like I said, with the ads and everything, and the YouTube player is nicer. It's more compatible with iDevices and other devices, and it just plays nicer. And then another reason is that we want our videos on YouTube to get more viral. I don't know if you know this, but the more views you have on your videos on YouTube and more comments and more likes and all that, the more likely it'll show up in the related videos of other videos, meaning that you'll get even more views. And by first showing them on Blip on our site and then showing them on YouTube, we didn't get as many views on YouTube, which makes sense because people have already seen it. But now we show them on YouTube, so you get even more views on YouTube, which should help grow our YouTube audience, which I think we're at like 75,000 subscribers now. So yeah. So that's why. So I think people will like that better anyways. Creed 3266, do you think we'll have a new NIDS codex this summer? I've heard rumors, but I don't know. Okay, scroll down. East Hope, when are you planning on doing the Wave 2 fundraiser for Dark Potential? We're not sure yet. I was thinking this summer, but the more I've been thinking about it, the more I might delay it. I'm kind of like, I'm going between the two. With this huge change that's happened with the store closing and us focusing more on the vault, I almost want to like push Dark Potential back a little bit and really just focus on the vault and the content that we produce. And that way we can really improve that, really stabilize the business to the point where it's doing really well and making good money. And then we'll have our own capital to build Dark Potential. We'll still do fundraisers as well because, heck, it's a good way to get a huge injection of capital, which allows you to speed up the process. But at least we'll be able to use our own capital, too, to kind of maybe preempt the fundraiser, get some stuff already done so that we can show that at the fundraiser, and also to sustain it after the fundraiser is done. And in reality, we want to spend a lot more money. That now that I've learned a lot more, that $90,000 we raised for the first fundraiser actually isn't that much money for making miniatures, because I want to pay writers to write. I want to hire more artists to do more artwork and just more stuff for the rule book. So we're looking at, I'd almost want to be able to raise a few $100,000 right now if I wanted to continue Dark Potential at this moment. And because I don't think that that's very possible, I might push it back a few months, stabilize the business after this whole store shutting down thing, and then come back to it. We'll still, of course, do Dark Potential battle reports, but maybe we'll update the miniatures a little bit, do one here and there. But I'm not sure. So I'm kind of in between that right now. Part of me wants to push forward, but part of me wants to kind of say, no, let's wait until we can do it really, really, really well. And that takes money. That's really what it comes down to. So we'll see what happens. Gloomed ready. Matt, you should cook X chicken wings when you start playing X-Wing. That's a really fun idea. Play X-Wing while eating chicken wings. Except that your hands would be all greasy and stuff. Maybe everybody else gets to eat chicken wings while we play X-Wing. So, Mad Cow Crazy says more like sleep and yawn. Haha. So, Drakisker asks, do you like the new Tau models? From what I can see, yeah, they're fine. I don't remember. When I saw them, I wasn't like, whoa, those are so awesome. But I thought they looked good. Jonah Tays, why doesn't the 40k story continue like in Warcraft or Starcraft? I don't know, it should. It would give them excuses for more expansions, but it's kind of a static story. It's a really neat and rich background, but static. So I don't know. I wish it would. Laughing Shark Trollolo, I haven't seen much of the new RVB season. Waiting for them to go on YouTube. What's RVB? Red vs. Blue? What's Red vs. Blue? I'm not sure what that is. Howling Wolf, but the 3-month lag is now gone, right? 3 month? You mean 3-month lag? We never had 3 month. It was always 30 days. Well, we used to have 3 month like ages ago, and that was that if you were a Vault member, you got to see the videos 3 months before everybody else. But now we got rid of that and said, no, now if you're a Vault member, you get exclusive videos just for you. So it was a 30-day lag where we would put it on our site and then 30 days later put it on YouTube. If that's what you're asking, that is gone now too. So that might be that's a temporary thing we're testing out. Because if all of a sudden we see the traffic on our website tank, then we're going to want to reinstate that. So it encourages people to come to our site to see the video before they see it on YouTube. Sharshack, any issues with shipping out the orders from the store closing sale? No issues, except that we've got tons of them. We had such a huge response with that it's obviously delayed the orders. Now, when you actually place the order, I'd updated the site, so it'd say, ships out within 1 to 2 weeks rather than 1 to 2 days. But yeah, it's going to take them a couple more weeks to get through all those orders. Marshall Aid, so have you lost a large percentage of MiniWarGaming income with the store closing? I would say about 66, so 2/3 of our revenue came from the store. 2/3 of our revenue came from the store. When I say revenue, that's different than profits. Most of the profits did not come from the store. They came from the vault. The majority of revenue came from the store, but it had such high expenses that it almost, kind of evened out. So we're going to lose a lot of revenue, but our profits should actually go up. Tucker, 2025, NIDS are supposed to be around in next January. Mad Cow Crazy says no, NIDS are slated as first decks in 2014, so yeah. Yeah. Master of the Blade, do you think the Imperial Guard need a new codex? I don't think they need one as bad as some other ones like Eldar. Orcs need a new codex. Black Templar just need to be removed and put back in the Space Marine Codex, or downgraded to a White Dwarf one. But no, I don't think the Imperial Guard need one as much as others, but they could use one. Jarkiskier, I can understand you wanting to focus more, and I'm sure everyone is willing to wait for such a good game. Well, thank you. I know people are impatient for it, but with the number of Kickstarter things out there, there's tons of other miniatures coming out right now, so you got lots of stuff to have fun with. And like I said, it's not for sure. We're not 100% set on anything yet. And then somebody's saying Eldar is scheduled for June, so we'll see if that's true. Crazy Rocket Job, would you ever outsource art production to India? We'll outsource it anywhere. Like the guy who did the concept art, who the Petrov Morales Corporation is named after. His name is Miroslav Petrov. He's from somewhere near Russia. Not Russia, but somewhere there. So I don't care where you're from. If you can do good art, I'll pay you for it. So yeah, we outsource all of our art. This art was done by somebody in Poland? I don't remember. I can't keep up with it. The Stormlord, hey Matt, I'm creating a business plan to open a hobby shop in the New York City area. I have numbers in my head, but what was your startup cost for the store, if you don't mind me asking? I don't remember. But if I had to guess, I would say you're going to want about $50,000 of inventory, probably. Depends on the size of your store, too. I'm not sure. Are you talking like a big store or a small store? Probably at least $50,000 of inventory, if not more. And I don't know. I really have no idea. I'm going to be making up numbers here. So, Mad Cow Crazy, Codices in Order of Need an Update. Sisters of Battle, they got a White Dwarf update. Black Templar, don't think they need an update. I think they need to be downgraded to just regular Space Marines, like I said. Eldar, yep. Orcs, agree. Nids, yeah, they could use an update. Dark Eldar, yeah, Dark Eldar need an update too. And then all the Space Marine stuff. Yeah, Space Marines, I don't know if they need one. Nobody ever uses theirs, but it would be cool. Like I said, if they did the Black Templar Space Marines, sandwich them together. Howling Wolf, Wave 2 of Dark Potential will cause a great globalization of Dark Potential. I'm waiting for that to start with it. Some news on European stores for Dark Potential. We're not going to even think of distribution until Wave 2 is out. And maybe not even until the rulebook is out. We're really, it's at the early stages of it. That's why it's so awesome how much everybody has helped us with it this far. But it might take another couple of years before we fully get it out. Tucker 2025, it's a setting, not a story. Thinking of 40K. Yeah, that's true. You want to provide both. You want a nice broad setting so that players can make up all their own stories for campaigns. But then you want an engaging, immersive story that can kind of update the setting as it goes along. Battletech, I always come back to it. Battletech did a really good job with that. They had a really cool story, and then with each update, like with each new release that expanded the game, it usually was 10 years later. Like, in fact, the name of the book usually had the year on it, like 3025. Now the compendium 3035, and this is like 10 years later. So they update the story a little bit, and so then you can choose, where do I want to play the game? Do I want to play it at the time of the clan invasions, at the time of the Star League, at the time of this, at the time of that, or you can just kind of not worry about the fluff, and you can just play with whatever mechs you want. But it really does create a really rich universe. 40K has a cool universe, but yeah, it's static, which needs to change. Because everybody wants to know what's really happening with the Tyranid invasions. The Orcs are just kind of random. But how are the Eldar doing? How are the Tau doing in their conquest? How is the Emperor doing? all these kind of things. There's lots of cool things we want to learn. I'm sure that some of the books do it, but not everybody reads the novels. So you have to do it in the actual rule books as well. Doofy Dovey, Red vs. Blue is a series made by Rooster Teeth based on the Halo game series. Oh no, I know what Red vs. Blue is, but on Rooster Teeth's Red vs. Blue. But I thought you were referring to a show that we did called Red vs. Blue. And that's why I got confused. Randomizer, what is the first MiniWarGaming video? It was our YouTube contest, video contest. That's the very first announcement for that. Marshall Lade, Matt, just wondering what is the best way to give comments and suggestions? Email, on here, or something else? Snail mail? Our forums, actually. I read the forums. That's a good way to do it. On here, on the live show. Email. We actually listened to a lot of the comments and suggestions. Mad Cow Crazy via Hastings, which is one of the... I think that's a user at Warseer, right? Release orders. Dark Angels. Chaos Demons. Tau. Yeah, obviously we already had those Chaos Demons one. High Elves. Eldar. Lizardmen. Oh, Lizardmen. That's good. They need an update. Creed, would you do Dark Potential movie-like codex? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sir Bleak, did you have the Dark Potential prototype model sculpted by hand, or did you try digital sculpting 3D printing? Did both. The 3D printing and digital sculpting was not as good. I'm sure if we had people that were more experienced with it, it would be better, but it just didn't work out as nicely as the actual hand-sculpted ones. But not to say that the 3D sculpt wouldn't work. I'm just saying that the guys that we ended up hiring, it just didn't work out very well. Crazy Rocket Jaw, is store closing connected to Dan's leaving? Not at all. They are two completely unrelated events, except that they're related in the fact that they're both at MiniWarGaming. Darkstar26 can't view any videos on miniwargaming.com, says there is a server error. Okay, I'm going to give you two links. I want you to go to this one, and this is in the chat, you'll see this. Go to those, follow those instructions and tell me if it fixes it or not. Blah, 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 blah. Jonathan, should I start some other war game before trying Dark Potential since I have no experience in tabletop games? Yeah, for sure. Dark Potential is not really fully released yet. We just have the starter sets. So definitely get into another game. Like War Machine. War Machine is fun. Buster Pro, is there a way for someone outside of the MiniWarGaming store to do a good bat rep and you put it in the vault, increasing your content without increasing the productivity cost? Sure, we would love to hire people to do that. Logistics of doing battle reports externally are a little more difficult. Like, we actually have people who do the tutorials, like Austin from Brush for Hire. He's not even local; he's in the States, and he does a lot of the painting and terrain tutorials that you see in the vault. But terrain and painting tutorials are a lot easier to do in your in your house by yourself, because you can set up a studio and you can get your camera set up, and nobody knows what's around. They only see what you're doing. Battle reports, on the other hand, you need a good room to do it in, with good sound. You need good equipment. You need a good camera, good sound equipment. And you need players to play against. You need painted armies. That's important for battle reports. And so if your only venue is your store that you go to, it'll be noisy, things going on, so it'll be harder to do a good battle report. But if you wanted to set up a studio in your house and you're able to do regular battle reports that were good, well edited, and you feel that you have the personality for it, then by all means you can always submit one to us, and we might even hire you. That's always a possibility. Crazy Rocket Jaw, what is the thing strapped to the PMC sniper's rifle? That is a anti-grav pack, actually, or anti-grav mine. The weapon is actually too heavy for him to carry around. It's a very high-powered sniper rifle that normally you have to put on a tripod and shoot that way. And however, by rigging it up with an anti-gravity mine, it makes it lighter. And so he's able to carry it. That's why it looks so massive, and yet he's able to just kind of stand up and shoot it. Just like that. Still cumbersome, so it's still move or shoot. But at least it's not like deploy it, then shoot it. The Stormlord. Me and my friends have agreed that flyers have ruined 40k. Basically, if you have a flyer and I don't, I'll probably lose. What do you think? I agree that they have completely unbalanced the game. I don't think they've ruined it. I think they've made it better because it's fun. you have to realize that when you can choose not to play with flyers. You can tell your opponent, I'm not going to play with flyers, so I don't want you to either. And if he's like, nah, I'm going to do it anyway, then you say, all right, I'm going to find another opponent. Because obviously you're a jerk and are not playing to have fun, but playing just to face stomp people. So that's just it. Like for our battle reports, I always ask, do you have any flyers? No? Okay, not bringing mine. Do you have flyers? Yes. Okay, I'm bringing mine. That's as simple as that. You have flyers, I'll bring flyers. You don't have flyers, I won't bring flyers. And that way the game is nicely balanced. DG Mooseman, why should Black Templar get downgraded? Well, because they're just another Space Marine chapter. We've already got enough Space Marine chapters out there. Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Grey Knights, and Space Wolves. By having Black Knight or Black Templar in there, that's just one more that they have to update on a regular basis, which they don't, as you can see. They have too many armies, is really what it comes down to. And that's why it takes so long for them to update them. So that's why they should be. You saw it doing the Sisters of Battle. Mad Crowd Crazy says the White Dwarf Sisters of Battle update was not an update, it was more a placeholder until they could bother with a proper codex release, and so they wouldn't have any 3rd edition dexes left to update. White Dwarf made the Sisters of Battle worse than they were before. 12 points for a battle sister, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, whatever it is, like I said, they have too many armies, and so that makes it harder for them to update. And that then makes things get updated slower. Like they got plenty, even if you took out Black Templar and Sisters of Battle and merged them, and merged them with other stuff. Like make Sisters of Battle a thing in Grey Knights or whatever you do with it, and Black Templar are part of Space Marines. Like you still have a lot of armies to update. Plus they have fantasy with all the armies to update, so they got their work cut out for them. Masters of the Blade Tyrannus should have Gene Stealer cults with guard. That would be a cool White Dwarf update, just kind of a friendly non-tournament thing. Creed says, when you do Codex for Dark Potential, you do movie. That'd be fun, but I don't think it'll happen that soon. So, Pilkey CRC says, in my opinion, the problem isn't flyers, but the lack of Skyfire in current codices. It should be balanced itself out in the next year or so. I do agree. I think that if they should have just like kind of given an FAQ so everything got some sort of Skyfire, like Hive Guard for Tyrann is Skyfire. Space Marines can pay for the upgrade to get the special missiles. I can't remember off the top of my head what they're called, but the flak missile, so they can fire it. So you just kind of give each army a way to deal with it, and so yeah. Jonates, I've heard 40k isn't as entertaining anymore. Should I still try it or start with something else? That's up to you. I think 40k is still a lot of fun, but there's a lot of other good games out there too, and they're a lot of fun too. Like War Machine is a lot of fun, and I hear Infinity is really good. I haven't played it yet myself, so whatever you feel like. Night EC is talking about problems he was having with videos. I mentioned that, so follow the instructions on the 2 links I put in the chat, and then let me know if you saw the problem. Trakiskier, Matt, a long time ago I suggested a Vault Members image gallery. Were there any thoughts about starting that up with a new thing? I would love to have a place to show off conversions. Yeah, actually I've been thinking about getting a gallery in there. I just haven't had time to program it. So I'm the programmer for the site, and so I've been trying to get more videos done. Icon has Tay Cheeseburgers asked, but so few people play Space Marines at MiniWarGaming. I know. That's just the way it is. Ray-Dash Gamers, Black Templars have very interesting special rules. It would be sad to see those go. They don't have to go. That's what I'm trying to say. You just put them into the Space Marine Codex. Then they don't have to go. See? See what I mean? The Space Marine Codex can have special rules for some different chapters. So, anyways. Crazy Rocket Jaw, Matt, do you have any favorite real airplanes? I'm deciding what plane to convert into Dakka Jet. I don't. I'm sorry. Ba-bum, bum, boom. Ba-bum, bum, boom. Ba-bum, bum, boom. Mad Cow Crazy, they should fold all Space Marine Dexes into a single Space Marine Dex. They are all the same thing with one page of special rules. And I actually do agree with you. Even like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Grey Knights, they could all get put into one. The problem is that's a lot of stuff for one codex. It would be a very thick codex. So I can see their reasoning. And of course, there's a marketing reasoning too. Space Marines are so popular. Well, how do you sell more of them? Well, you split them up into more codexes, and that way people will like collect Blood Angels and then Dark Angels and then this, and they got to paint them different. And so I can see the marketing reason behind it. But Black Templars clearly are not popular, nor have they been updated. So just get rid of those. Bloody Gamers, have you seen the new rules for Tau on Nafka? Nope. Alright, Laughing Shark Tool or Trollolo. I have a question. When it comes to scenery, what polystyrene do you use? It's probably called something different here in the UK, but if something here is from the UK and you use it for modeling, please tell me the name. Well, we call it polystyrene or styrofoam, but it's the pink or blue insulation foam, or the styrofoam. That's what we use. So it's either pink or blue. Either of them work. No Cath, I still think GW needs a group of people dedicated to do nothing but working on the game and codices, but it isn't business worthy to make it competitive. I think they do have a group of people dedicated to that. Otherwise, how would they update as often as they do? Greenleaf Terrain, will you be playing Infinity? We plan on it. Creed says Hiveguard would be overpowered with Skyfire. Yeah, but Tyranids have no other real way to deal with flyers except for Flying Hive Tyrants, which are very expensive and they take up important HQ slots. And Hiveguard aren't that good. Like they're good, but they're not like that good. Other armies have much better responses, like the Necrons, for example. Mint Bloom, can you pretty please post a live show schedule on the site somewhere? Pretty please? Yes. If you go to MiniWarGaming.com, at the top of the page, there's something that says live shows. Click on that. That's the schedule. Darkstar tried both links, and it still says there's a server error when I try to watch videos on MiniWarGaming. Okay, well then do me a favor and email me your IP address. Matthew at MiniWarGaming.com. If you don't know what your IP address go to whatismyip.com. Mint Bloom says, "Wow, I'm lame. Thank you." You're welcome. You don't know the site as well as the person who makes it does, obviously. Ray Dash Gamer Infinity, you should give it a try, Matt. You will love it. Besides, those bat reps could take less time to play and require less investment. I agree. Icon has Tate Cheeseburgers. Has ever been to famous buffalo chicken wing places like Duff's or Anchor Bar, where chicken wings recipe was discovered? I haven't, actually. I should. Laughing Shark, Trollolo. I have insulation foam now. It's called Celotex, and it's like poisonous. Haha, so I'm probably going to die, but cool, thanks. It is toxic when you melt it, so make sure you do that outside. Where can you buy the insulation foam from? We get it from like a building supply store. All right. Marshall Aid, Matt, one of my suggestions, and you touched on this in an earlier episode, but right now the Sit and Talks are just Q&A. I was thinking maybe you could create some more topic segments like Dark Matters and etc. in addition to the Q&A. I would like to do that, and honestly, I probably will refine the show. The problem is, I have been so incredibly busy this past little while. Well, that's not totally true. This past week, I've decided to really ramp up how much content I produce. Like this week, I've played in 3 battle reports, and I will be producing 2 of those, and that's actually a lot. And I'm going to personally try to do 2 or 3 battle reports a week. That's a lot, considering I have other stuff I had to get done. And so planning for these live shows. The nice thing about these live shows is I can just kind of sit down and do it, which means it doesn't take that much time. It just takes the time it takes to do the show itself. But I do agree, it would be nice to have some more segments to it. Creed, if warriors can have wings, more monster flyer. Warriors can have wings. They're called Shrikes, but they still don't have Skyfire. They're just jump infantry. Bloody Gamers, you should invite the Beast of War team over to you for a week of different games and make a competition for someone to join you in the team during this fun week. That would be pretty cool. Expensive, incredibly expensive, but really cool. Pilka CRC, I don't know if you already answered a question on this, but what do you think about the supply problems Games Workshop is having with Tau? Is this Dave praying to the Chaos Gods? Well, we didn't order any Tau, so I actually don't know anything about that. But, I don't know. Icon has the Tate Cheeseburgers. What are the best/worst single erratas FAQs you've run into? Well, the FAQ or errata that says that you can only kill what's in range of your weapons, I think that was pretty bad because there's so many questions that raises. Like, what if there's multiple ranges in the weapons? Do the other ones can make it? It's just all these other things. Tyrannid spore pods not being allowed to have an independent creature taken with them. That's pretty dumb. The Doom and Malantai not being able to suck out brains from inside a vehicle. It's pretty dumb. Although that one I've kind of come more to terms with because people have made the good point of it's not so much the protection of the metal, it's more like he doesn't see them and so he doesn't know to take their brains out. That's where you get cover saves from because it's them hiding behind the cover and he doesn't know to remove their souls, I guess. Mad Cow Crazy. I'm thinking about rebooting my YouTube channel, but I need a new camera. 1080p a minimum? Do I dare try one of those $5 camcorders from China? The cameras that we use... Let me show you what we use. This is the camera that we use. Now, the model will change because, you know, as soon as we've had the camera for a year, there's a new model. But it's the Canon... Oh, I've got to turn on focusing and put autofocus on. Okay. So, it's a Canon Vixia... Oh, come on. Focus. Focus. Whatever. Okay. I'll just read it to you. It's a Canon Vixia HFR32. Now, the HFR32 part might change. And the reason we chose this camera was because it was the cheapest HD camera. Now, every camera you buy now is HD. That has a microphone input. The microphone input is very important because then you can plug in a better microphone than the one that the camera comes with. Now, the microphone itself is expensive. Like the camera was about $400, and then the microphones we use are about $1,000, $800 in the States. And so the audio equipment's actually more expensive. We do want to get better cameras, but if you're starting a YouTube channel, these are awesome. Okay, so I would say this is a minimum, $400. You can get away with smaller or with cheaper ones, but it just won't look as good. And even these don't look super awesome. We want to get the SLRs, you know, the ones where you can change the lens. That's what that was. But those are like $1,200. That's the cameras that we want to eventually get for MiniWarGaming. But right now we're able to get by with this, so why go and spend a few $1,000s in equipment when we could use that few $1,000s and hire somebody else to make more battle reports? So that's the tricky part, is knowing when to improve your equipment as opposed to improve the number of stuff that you're doing. So that's what I would suggest. But high definition is definitely required now. You can't do stuff in low definition anymore, standard definition. Jonah Tays, is it true that videos on YouTube are uploaded a month later? It used to be true, it no longer is. I don't have a Vault membership, so I watch everything from YouTube. Yeah, no, they're uploaded at the same time now. Blood Angel of Minoth, I find that Games Workshop gives too much fluff influence on the rules and point costs for models and armies. Example, Tyranids and Orc troops with very low cost, but are still, stat-wise, not that much weaker than a Space Marine. Well, that's arguable. And Space Marines not being able to equip themselves for the mission ahead like a unit of Flamers against Horde armies. But the fluff says this is against the tactics book they follow, forget its name, the Codex Astartes. What do you think? The points should be based on balance in the game. And that's what I think. But I do think the points are pretty balanced for the basic units. Like Tyranid and Orc basic troops are not anywhere near as good as a Space Marine basic troop for a few reasons. One, their stat line. You know, having just like one difference in initiative or a few difference in leadership is a big, big difference. Like the basic Termagant or Hormagant or Orc Boy is not as good as a Space Marine. On top of that, the Space Marine has access to even more weapons. So balancing a game is next to impossible. You're never going to be able to get it done completely right. So when you compare two units or two models and say this one's 6 points and this one's 6 points, but this one can do more than this, that's not entirely accurate for balancing because you're looking at it in a vacuum. Or in other words, there's nothing else to be said about it. I used to think that the Orc Boys were underpriced because they're like 6 points, and then here's my 6-point Hormagant, and the Orc Boy has more attacks, it has higher toughness, and just all these things that it can do, and my Hormagant's just basic. But the more games I played, the more I realized that the whole army was more balanced, just because, yes, the boy might be super cheap, but they're kind of limited in what they're able to do. And so I think they've actually done a good job with the basic stuff. So yeah, we'll kind of see that. Boop, 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 boop. Creed, is Dave still on Friday now? Yes. Mad Cow Crazy looks exactly like the $5 Chinese camera on eBay, except that one's red. Well, obviously, if you buy the $5 camera from China and it's not good, you've lost $5 plus shipping. So, go ahead and try it. Ravenous Orc. Hey, Matt, do you know what the cooler is going to be talking about in his new live show? Nope. Jonah Tays, how much money do you make from the vault? Like a month's worth of money. I'm not going to disclose those numbers. Master of the Blade, what about microphones that can be used for gaming? Ones built into headphones. Those are okay. If you buy a good one, you want to spend about $100 on a really good one. And so those can be good. But they don't plug in to your camera. And so you can use them for voiceovers, but that's about it. Sir Bleak, you can get DSLRs for about the same cost as the Canon. Well, that's not entirely true. I could get a basic digital SLR for a few $100s, but the one that has really good video is the $1,200 one in Canada. In the States, it's probably like $1,000. Howling Wolf, Necron Tactica in your live show. Yeah, we could cover things like that. The Bloody Gamers, will you ever have the same camera equipment as Beasts of War, as their videos always look so good on screen? I hope to eventually. They started off, like when they first started, we were still doing standard definition, and they came in right away with HD. And that's back when HD was not common, and they had like broadcast quality equipment. Eventually I want to do that, but I'd rather focus first on getting more videos out, and then once we have the sufficient quantity, then we'll improve the quality, rather than just pumping out more quantity. Boom, boom, boom. Crazy Rocket Jaw, I disagree. Orc and Tyranid units are cheaper than Space Marines, but they suffer from low armor saves and poor shooting skills, and now in 6th edition you have to field a horde of unit of orcs. Orcs die like flies. Yeah, see, exactly. Mint Bloom, but we orc players get to buy a lot of dice, so that's cool. Yes. Marshall Lade, Matt, do people that smoke cigarettes disgust you, or do you have an opinion of smokers? Well, just asking me whether they disgust me would mean that I have an opinion. I do not think they do not disgust me. I definitely don't want them smoking around me, or my kids, or my wife, because obviously it's harmful to your health, but no, they don't disgust me. I wish that nobody smoked, but that's because it's obviously bad for you. Okay, I give up, says, hi Matt, I also have the video viewing problem, and the MiniWarGaming CS told me the problem occurs to UK. Customer support tells me that it occurs to UK and Australian users, and the problem is unknown. Can I also send you my IP address if I can't fix it with the links you posted? Yes, please. The email would be matthew@miniwargaming.com. Mad Cow Crazy says, free shipping on Chinese camera. Well, awesome. What you got to lose then? I doubt it'll be good. $5. This doesn't seem good, unless it's stolen. But even then, they'd sell it for more than $5. Fromagerie, what would be your StarCraft announcer name? M to the Matty Batty? No, I don't know. Laughing Shark Trololo, and then the item gets lost in customs, then eaten by Urukai. Matty Batty might give off the wrong idea. Crazy Rocket Jaw, smokers. Yes. Jonah Tays, do you have a dog or cat? Neither. I used to have a dog and a cat, but not anymore. Wow, I actually caught up with the comments or with the chat. It's pretty awesome. Usually I'm like 10 minutes behind. Time's almost up. Probably going to end a little early because I am sleepy. So I want to go home and have a nap. Seriously. Mad Cow Crazy, could you write down the name of the camera so I can look up prices? I'll put it in the chat. It is Canon Vixia HF-R32, but like I said, the R32 part is that'll change. I'm not sure what the most recent one is, but I think it'll be HF-R something, I think, or HF something. But yeah, it has 1080p or 1080i, I should say, recording. It does 1080p as well, and I don't know. I don't really, as long as, yeah, you want it to be able to have a manual color. White balance, manual exposure, and all the manual stuff. Jonah Tays, how far do you live from your workplace? A 7-minute drive or a 11-minute bike ride? Gunmage, what would it take to make you do more War Machine bat reps? We're doing more. It'll take nothing. Bloody Gamers, who is your best Lord of the Rings character and Hobbit character? You mean favorite? Sam is pretty cool. Showing all that resilience and everything. Sir Bleak says, check out the D5100 for decent DSLR video on the cheap. Well, see, this already does decent video. I want awesome video. Mad Cow Crazy, could you please do a Relic board game video and Dark Heresy? Definitely will. You know we're going to be covering all sorts of other stuff in the coming year. Just have patience, and we will definitely be doing it. Sir Bleak, lenses will make the difference. Yes, definitely. Drewski, I will be in town this weekend. Should I pop in and say hi? Sure. That'd be great. Creed, thanks Matt. Great sit and talk, or sit and look at the chat. LOL. Buster Pro, do you have any other job other than MiniWarGaming? Oh no. We've been doing this full time since it started. Well, Dave did it full time. I was doing something else with my other business, and then I came into this full time. But we've been doing this full time for like 5 years now. So yeah, this is not our like side job. This is our job. This is what pays the bills. My wife doesn't even work. She's a stay-at-home mom for 2 kids, which I think is awesome. So yeah, just this job is able to provide for us, which is great. Marshall Lade, so I promise this is my last comment, Matt. I used to play 40k but quit. However, I still enjoy watching MiniWarGaming, but mostly the sit and talks. I enjoy when you talk about the off-topic stuff. I know I'm probably a minority here, but was wondering if I'm the only one. I don't think so. Other people seem to ask questions about it. Sir Bleak, will your gaming space be open for observers when the store closes? We're not sure yet. Jonates, what do you want to do better in Dark Potential, even when it was very early phase still? So I want the miniatures to look better. I want to have more story. I want more artwork. And yeah. Drakeskier, that's a lie, Matt. Your other job is father. Nope, that is not my other job. I guess depends how you want to look at it. It's not my job. That's my life. My life is husband and father. And I have a job that then allows me to provide as a husband and father. That's the way I see it. Master of the Blade, what was your other business? Was in marketing consulting. Crazy Rocket Jaw, have you been to Valhalla? Yes. And we're going again this year in October. It's awesome. I loved it. It was so awesome. If you can go, go. Drewski, is a physical store officially closed? Not yet. Or do you have some things left to sell off? We have a lot of things left to sell off. And it's at 30% off right now. Laughing Shark, Charlallo, oh yeah, it's so sad that the store is closing. And oh my goodness, that Valhalla trip looks sick. I agree, and I agree. All right, we're out of time here, so I'm going to close off. Thank you very much for all your comments, all your questions. And thank you for attending this live sit and talk. Or if you're watching this, thank you for watching the recording of the live sit and talk. And yeah, I will sign off here. This is Matthew. Happy wargaming.